of them. All right, gentlemen, episode 17. It's been a while. What have you guys been doing other than golf? Because that's the only thing to do.
Golf, work, and sleep.
Yeah, well, I can't work. I mean, I'm technically an entrepreneur now. So if you guys want to subscribe to the channel and go to iTunes, I don't know.
I got a quick story. So Russ and I go bike riding last Friday.
True.
And so it's all uphill, top of the lake, see the falls. We're on our way back down. I'm like 5-10 feet behind Russ. And there's a couple standing on the side of the path. The path is like, 5 or 6 feet wide, maybe? Maybe a little more than that.
I think 6 to 8.
And it's all fine crushed stone. And so I see the lady, like, off to the side, like, going like this. And I'm like I said, I was behind Russ. So we get by. I was like, Russ, was she waving us by? He's like, no, she's telling us to move over. We're too close to her.
You're outside.
Yeah. And we're doing like 16 miles an hour down a path. They literally turned their backs to us.
They were walking. They heard us coming. They went to the right edge of the path and faced the woods. And the guy put his hand over his mouth. That didn't work well with a microphone, but the guy put his hand over his mouth, and like he said, she was...
Which is probably worse than you than...
telling us to get over. Like, come on.
It's like, if you're going to do that, you might as well just stay home. Like, and there was a decent amount of people out.
And prior to that, there was a girl on a road bike going the opposite way. We were going down the hill. She was coming back up. We were probably 50 feet from her, and I see her scrambling to put her mask on for the fraction of a second that we're passing each other.
Well, consider where you're at, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I've just been playing golf. My golf game's improved since I got laid off. I mean...
It's about time.
It is about time.
Hopefully it's ready for Friday.
Did I tell you what happened Sunday?
No.
I went out and played with Colton and Ross.
Yeah.
And we took on Colton and Taylor. I am 4 under going down 18. Not a bogey on the card.
Oh, boy.
So I made sure I steered one down the fairway. Wind was blowing pretty hard, left to right. So I soft-handed a driver down there, about $110 out, middle of the fairway. This guy makes bogey. And I didn't even care. I mean, normally you'd hey, it's a tight course. I only had one bogey, I shot 69. I was like, nope. I was pissed. I'm like, I had one bogey today, and it was from the middle of the fairway in the last hole. And I don't think anybody realized.
No.
And I didn't either until 15.
Yeah, I didn't know you were bogey free.
When I got to 15 and got up and down to the bunker, I was standing over the putt, and I'm like, I backed off. I'm like, I think this is for par. I don't have a bogey today.
Yeah. So
that's why I backed off. And that, and the flag was in my face, blowing.
Yeah.
So, and I followed it up Monday with a 72 at 20, and I hit it horrible.
But you still shot 69.
I did. Giggity. I still would like to have that bogey, especially out there.
Right.
So.
And from there.
Yeah.
I did that. Well, I wasn't that low, and it was only 9 holes.
Other than that, it was the same shit.
Yeah. He also shot 69.
I was 2 under, headed. We were playing back nine. I was 2 under, headed 18, and we were playing with Nate, and he said, "Watch." I put one. I don't know if I was in the fairway or just in the rough. He says, "Watch out for those bunkers up there." I put it in there. I ended up double bogey and shoot even par.
I mean, it was a tough pin. It was front right. Wind was blowing left to right. I tried to club up and feather one in there. I think it landed close to pin high and just.
Yeah.
The wind didn't kill it and it just went through hot, and I got a really funky lie and had a terrible chip. So that's that. Other than that,
but you guys won overall, I heard.
We did.
So
Colton's birdie on 17 was huge.
Yes, it
that
was.
Birdie saved them $30.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. It's a good time though.
So Adam came through clutch tonight since Bud Light didn't sponsor us. We have the Blue Light seltzers tonight. Giving it a whirl. These are pretty good.
Black cherry lime.
I got the grapefruit.
That's it. I got black cherry lime as well. I already had a grapefruit earlier.
It's good. It's more black cherry than lime.
Yeah. If you're a seltzer company,
that's why they put black cherry first.
Nice. If a Polish guy did, he put lime first, and it would taste more like black cherry. If you're a seltzer company out there, could you not include mango in all your boxes?
Yeah, what is with mango right now?
I think it smells like cat piss.
I like mango. Well, I'll eat them every once in a while, but it's not like something I'm like, I got to have some mango.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know what a mango looks like.
I want to meet one person that drinks the mangoes in every assorted box before the rest of them. Because that person's clearly a psychopath.
psycho.
That's always the last one left in my fridge.
Always.
Does it look like a peach? An orange?
This is close.
Looks like a mango.
All right, I gotta Google mango real quick.
So I have, we were talking about NBA, golf, and all the sports returning, but let's jump into golf since it starts tomorrow, which I'm extremely pumped for.
What?
What do you got?
It brings up women's dresses. Shopmango.com. I want to see what the goddamn fruit looks like. Oh yeah, that's a mango. I have seen those.
Similar to a peach.
All right. Okay, we're good.
All right.
We can move on.
He's going to go buy some at Wegmans when we're done.
So with golf starting tomorrow, there's been a couple things that came up. We'll get into like what's going on this week, and then we'll end the podcast with Adam wants to do a snake draft instead of the NASCAR because, which by the way, you owe Jamie money. We already paid up.
Oh, all right.
And
I
me.
didn't know who won.
Jamie won one of them. I won the other.
Yes.
All right.
So there's been chatter about miking up players.
Yeah.
And there was a quote from Justin Thomas this week that said, I would not wear a mic. No. What I talk about with Jimmy and what I talk about with the guys in my group is none of anybody else's business. No offense. Do you agree with that statement?
I know my stance, so you know yours. You want to go first?
Yeah. Yes and no. I don't think we should have them mic'd up all the time because what they do talk about is
Correct.
could be personal stuff. You don't know what they're talking about.
They're
on
out there
course.
for 4.5, 5 hours. There's going to be personal stuff
Yeah,
to talk
a lot,
about.
and some of those guys, a couple of the groups this week, right? Spieth, Thomas, and Fowler are playing together. They're all good friends. Like, who knows what's going to be said
Right.
in those groups?
I think it
You
sets
can't-
them up.
You can't mic them up all the time. Obviously, we saw with the two matches, the TaylorMade match and then the Tiger Phil match, like, it was neat to hear them. But at the same time, when it's meant for money, that was for charity.
Right.
So I would like to hear. I do like when they get the mics close and you can hear the chatter between the caddy and the player.
Yeah, once
to
in
hear
a
what they're
while.
thinking.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
But I don't think we need it constantly.
Everybody gets offended by everything now. And I feel like one of those guys, like, being harmless would say something and it would turn into a PR stunt. And then they got to, apologize for absolutely nothing, probably, in my personal opinion. And I agree with him. I absolutely agree with him. I'm okay with, like, the charity events and stuff like that. And once in a while you get close. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're out there 4.5, 5 hours. Stuff's going to get said. I mean, we've all been on the golf course. You want to hear, you're going to pick up one of those guys dropping the F-bomb
Right.
loud and clear on TV. Then, then you're going to turn around and fine them. Like, I'm not okay with that.
And especially now without fans, there's
Yeah.
less sound behind it.
There's less white noise behind going on. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Justin Thomas. I would not want to be mic'd up out there. Everything you guys have said is valid in my opinion. You also have the scenario where you could have a golfer that went out early in the morning, so first group out, and they're mic'd up, and a player that doesn't tee off until 2 o'clock is watching maybe the broadcast or something, and the player that's out there first mic'd up with his caddy is talking about maybe a pin location. Hey, this pin's tough to see from the fairway. You got to add 5 yards to the number here.
Right.
That could give a competitive advantage to the player that's in the clubhouse watching that before he goes out and plays.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think a lot of those guys have. I mean, they do watch. A couple of them have said like, "Hey, I watch PJ Tour live in the morning if I don't just to see the pins and things." Like,
how
but yeah, you don't
greens react. And
Yeah,
stuff,
but if you get the advantage, hey, you better play an extra five yards or something,
Yeah.
extra half a club. Like
Yep.
Don't know
that's a
yet.
huge advantage.
Or
at
hey,
that point.
it's drier than it looks. We need to, cut 10% off the yardage on
Yeah.
this shot or something like
Yep.
that.
Here's what I am okay with. If they were to go this route, is if you're going to mic them up, show like a small piece at some point. Like show a little clip where it's been edited out. Some of the stuff they said.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't need to hear everything.
If they were mic'd up and then, say, Justin Thomas is playing and he's coming down 16, and they say, hey, Justin Thomas and his caddy had an interesting conversation back on hole number 9.
Yep. And it was
they
fit
cut
for
to
TV.
that. Yeah, and they cut to that and show a minute segment of them talking. But it's not necessarily live.
Yeah, they shouldn't be.
They could use it for that kind of thing.
Right.
When I saw they're going to have, I think this week they said I don't know, somewhere on the course. I don't know if it was finalized or not. They're going to set up a camera, a confession cam, basically. If a player wants to, like, I think they talked about doing it like after 9, like stop by and like talk in the camera, and be like, hey, that front 9 was tough, you know. And it's all if you want to stop by and like say anything, and I think it's more for the interaction with it, obviously with everybody watching more than anything.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that. I would think you'd have some players that would do that and others that wouldn't. But
yeah.
It probably depend how players are playing. If they're playing bad, they would be like, yeah, I need this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be right back. Put it in the porta-john. Right to turn. So you both know one of my biggest pet peeves. I know you guys don't agree with you're on the same side as me, but I'm a little more vocal about it. What's the one golf rule that I cannot stand?
Okay, well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Patrick Reed.
No, golf rule.
Oh, golf rule.
Golf rule. I thought you said golfer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is Patrick Reed, but
He's a rule, too.
yeah,
One golf rule that you can't stand.
it's a new rule.
Leaving the
Leaving
flags
the
in.
pin.
Hey, look, you guys are doing really good. You're 1 for 1. So I actually, because we just talked about we're going to play golf right now.
Yeah.
We can't pull a flag. And I was out playing Monday and was playing with Duffy and Merrill. And Merrill's like, I just watched 30 people open that door to walk inside, and I can't pull a flag out here playing golf.
Yeah.
Like, how ridiculous is this at this point? So, to tie into that, I just happened to come across, I was trying to look up, like, is there any updates? We got the CDC putting out stuff they don't actually know anything about, but let's just put it out anyway. I found where a guy with a PhD did research. He's worked for Callaway and he's worked for another golf company. He did research where he rolled putts on a green with the flag in. He tested 3 different types of pins: the fiberglass, I believe, the taper, multi-diameter pin, taper pin, and fiberglass pin. Mm-hmm. He rolled putts. They were all to go by the hole 4.5 feet, so they all rolled the same speed. He did a test. He did to see if it was actually worth like leaving the pin in, because Shambo claims it does help. Okay.
Was he putting them or was he rolling them down a device?
Rolling them down a device.
Okay.
So it's consistent.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So the first 30 rolls he tested in a fiberglass pin, 15 out of 30 went in. Pin out, 22 out of 30 went in. Taper pin, 15 out of 30. Multi-diameter pin, 11 out of 30. So that kind of goes to my theory of it's all horseshit. Moving on. He did it again. Fiberglass pin, 15 out of 30. Pin out, 29 out of 30. Taper pin, 2 out of 30. Multi-diameter pin, 9 out of 30. A final round with 30 putts. Fiberglass pin, 25 out of 30. Pin out, 30 of 30. Taper pin, 15 of 30. Multi-diameter, 14 of 30. Does anybody want to argue about this? Does the Shambo want to?
Well, he would argue just for the sake of it.
Basically, what the guy proved is, unless you hit the pin absolutely square, it still has to be the right speed. If it's too hard, it's going to bounce back. If you glance it just a little bit, I mean, if you hit a good putt, I mean, how many times have you guys hit putts and said, well, if I got to hit this 2.5 feet by the hole, that's good pace. That's usually what you're aiming for in a good putt.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're hitting a putt that quick, consistently 2.5 feet, if you don't hit the pin square, you're probably it's gonna hit the flag and bounce off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'd much rather the pin out, but I haven't had an issue with the pin in because I don't putt hard enough.
You didn't hit the hole very often.
Usually picks up before he finishes.
I don't hit it hard enough to roll by more than 1.5 feet, 2 feet. So mine usually just roll in the front. So it hasn't affected me, but I would much rather the pin out.
I have been finding the issue. I saw it this past weekend, not the round I played with you, but the day before, on short putts that are like 4 or 5 footers.
It's annoying.
I feel like I'm trying to maneuver around the pin, and I'm almost aiming for the side of the cup rather than the center where the pin is, because I'm trying to miss the pin. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's just like
it's a mental visual thing.
We're programmed to aim for the hole, so I'm struggling to aim at the pin. So I'm trying to sneak it in the side door, and it's not working.
Or like we talked about, you have 3-4 feet, and it's a little breezy, and the wind's. I got a shadow.
Yeah.
I got a flag blowing in my face.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. Pull the flags.
Yes.
They've played in 2 tournaments so far this year where we've pulled flags, and no one's
Yep.
complained.
And they actually talked about caddies this week. They've told get one caddy to pull the flag on every hole.
To me, it's just silly. It's a visual thing at this point.
Right.
Something that's silly.
They're going to be on TV, so I think
That's all it is.
So it's just to
Yes.
keep it.
Yeah.
So
And, we were talking about you guys went for the bike ride, the mask. So I don't want to jump. I'll jump a little ahead because I just read this because I got the alert like an hour and a half ago. The first event with spectators is going to be in Columbus, Ohio, which conveniently Columbus was the first
one to
place to
cancel.
like mess up my life and cancel one of my trips. They're going to allow spectators, but they have to wear masks. It's going to be July. Now, I'm no doctor, but I have a little bit of common sense, and so do the two of you. Wearing a mask outside when it's 90 degrees is not healthy.
And I think they said only 8,000 spectators a day.
Right.
Which Tigers playing, there's going to be 7,900 following Tigers.
Right.
Like, I mean, if they were all spread out, you're not going to be near anybody, but there's going to be 7,900 people following Tigers.
And you're outside.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And again, if you're that worried, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
If you're that worried, just don't go.
Stay home. Yeah, we talked about it last time, and Jamie made the point of, just football and baseball and all those other sports. If you don't want to, if you're that worried about it, then stay home.
Yeah.
20,000 people will buy those tickets and go to the game.
Or if you want to wear a mask. It's your it's your choice.
Yeah, exactly.
So
this week they're playing in. What are you shaking your head for?
I'm just
Dumbfounded?
sick of all this shit. I just want to get back to normal life.
I don't disagree. So we play this week in Texas. Play Colonial.
Yep.
Followed up by RBC and Hilton Head, and then they play the Travelers. And then July, the John Deere actually backed out.
Yep.
They're going to skip a year, so they're going to play back-to-back weeks in Columbus before they're playing the week before the Memorial.
Oh, they are?
Yep.
I
So
didn't read that.
Yeah,
so
they're
I knew
gonna-
John Deere canceled. So
Yeah, they pulled out, so they filled it in with, I guess.
Different courses or same course?
No, they're both going to play Murfield Village.
Okay.
I mean, they're going to be set up and ready.
right.
Yeah.
So they said, we'll take it. I don't know what the event's going to be called. I don't know if they have a sponsor.
That's got to be the first time that's ever happened.
I
PGA
would-
playing
yeah.
back-to-back weeks at the
Same
course.
spot, yeah. So that
It'd be interesting how many guys play both weeks.
both weeks.
Obviously, a lot of guys know that course well enough, but
Yeah.
it'd be interesting how
I
many
would.
times they.
No travel and added course knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's just money.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a low guy in a totem pole, like you said, travel.
Yeah.
I'm already here. I'm like,
Yep. I'll play if they want me to.
all right,
I'll probably get cut, but
I'll play.
I'll play.
Wait, speaking of the RBC Heritage, did you see whose big boat?
I was going to bring it up. So there's a rumor.
Somebody's big boat is pulling up near
Yeah,
Hilton Head.
BDE.
Yeah. So we follow Barstool's
Yeah.
podcasts and whatnot. Give them a shout out here. So Riggs from the Foreplay Pod.
And if you still want to play us, we're ready.
Yeah, don't be
Yeah,
scared,
that's
homie.
true, yeah. So
3v4.
Riggs, yeah. Riggs is a huge Tiger fan, just like us. He has somebody that basically monitors Tiger's yacht. It's somebody that works for. It's the equivalent of like air traffic control for airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the equivalent for these ports where these huge yachts go in.
Is there an app?
And this, I think there is because he showed a picture of it, of the
Yeah.
route. So just like an airplane, they had to talk about their arrival time, the route they were taking.
The itinerary and all
He
that.
had all this, basically, the itinerary is a good word. The itinerary for a Tiger's yacht and when it was arriving. So he's got inside knowledge of when Tiger's yacht's even firing up.
I saw where he arrived somewhere, and he's like, "Where's this? It better be near Hilton Head."
Yeah, it's in I don't know what St. Simon's
St.
in,
something Island.
in Georgia.
It's pretty close.
But
Yeah,
they said it's like a 20-minute drive.
So usually they play Hilton Head the week after the Masters usually
Right.
because it's only, I think it's like an hour and a half drive
Yeah. Yep, it's close.
from Augusta. I mean, it's only like 20 minutes from Savannah, Georgia. It's that close to the border. I've actually played Hilton Head. I've played where they play the RBC.
Yeah. Do that. Of course, the greens are small. Well, small compared to a normal.
Some other tour standards.
Yeah, than a normal. Because I think the average PGA Tour green's like 6,700 square feet.
Yeah.
And I think Hilton Head's like 3,300.
I will say this. After playing there and then watching the tournament following year, and now you watch it every year. They say that course is one of the shorter courses on tour. It's because they don't play it from the back tees. I mean, I remember the first time I watched it after playing it, I think there's a par 3, maybe like the third hole. I think I had like a really good 3-iron to the middle of the green. And then I'm watching it on TV, and they show a guy, he's like, oh, he's got 7-iron here. He's got 167. Like, is he playing from the ladies' tees? Because I had a smooth, like, 230 in.
I don't know. Last time I saw Kyle might hit his 3-iron 160.
How much money you got in your pocket? You want to play for it?
Is there a story behind this?
I don't know.
Shots fired here?
So it's not, it's extreme.
I got nothing.
After Sunday, all he's got to do is find a partner, and we'll challenge him to a match.
Well, he's playing the other 18 with me on Friday.
That's true. The three of us are playing together
Yeah, three of
Friday.
us are.
Yeah.
So we can have a little match.
Oh, all right.
So I got a game we could play. I played it Monday. I'll explain it off air.
All right.
I think the way the schedule panned out this year, Hilton Head's going to benefit from it. Because I see Rory's playing 3 weeks in a row. DJ's going to play there. Possibly Tiger. They can pull in the strongest fields they've ever played because they're usually the week after the Masters.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't usually get a huge. There's I know Webb Simpson always plays because he's from the area, so he's.
Yeah.
But yeah, they usually have. I don't know. I'm gonna throw up like 5 of the top 50 maybe. In the
Yeah,
world.
they don't.
It's not.
Yeah.
Usually there's a no name type guy that wins there.
Yeah. Yes, or somebody like middle of the road,
Yeah.
the money list, who's going to play because they got in. Mm-hmm. It is a fun course. It is extremely tight compared to tour standards. Guys like Dustin probably won't play well there. It might be shorter, but it's tighter.
Right.
But it is long enough. I don't think you could just walk around that place and hit an iron all day. So you have to be pretty precise. I mean, you can be in the middle of the fairway in some of those holes or on the wrong side of the fairway and not have a shot.
Yeah.
Depending on where the flag is, too. So it's a fun course. I definitely would love to go back.
Did you see the Ryder Cup news today?
I did.
So the U.S. only, I believe it was,
Yes.
changed their points. So usually top 8, I forget what Ryder Cup is.
8 get in, 4
yeah,
picks.
and 4 picks. They changed it to top 6 get in, and Stricker gets 6 captain picks.
Okay.
There had to be an agreement there, too, between I mean, they have the whole...
Yeah,
Committee
that's why I didn't know if it was.
I didn't see anything about the European,
right.
but there has to be some agreement there, and probably based off the shorter schedule.
Right.
As of right now, is that still happening this year?
As of right
There
now.
have been rumors that a couple players have even said they wouldn't be surprised if that gets moved to next year.
I'm
right
guessing
now,
they'll wait till a couple months prior.
Yeah. I heard end of June they're going to make a decision.
Okay.
I think if you have it, you have to have fans.
Yeah. Oh.
Or it's not a Ryder
Yeah,
Cup.
that's 65% of that.
And that goes back to what we just talked about a few minutes ago.
Right.
What are you saying?
That was a random percentage.
Yeah, I was going to say 75.
65 percentage.
Seemed high.
For that.
So.
The importance of that is the fans.
It's like 63.4% of people. It's not a big deal. Like 8% of kids do it. I think that goes back to what we just talked about. If you're that worried about it, stay home.
Yeah.
I mean, with the 3 of us, would you go to the Ryder Cup this year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's 3 fans right there. Send me the tickets.
If you guys got tickets,
I'll wear a hazmat suit if I have to.
I won't.
It might be chilly there, so it might not
It
be
is
bad.
Wisconsin in September.
Ooh, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Don't you?
That's Minnesota.
It's close enough. Yeah.
It's upper Midwest.
Somewhere around the Dakotas.
Yeah, there's some.
He's got like
I
a
got-
secret note sheet here on the back.
I got Ryder Cup standings here.
Ooh.
The six in right now
Right now.
are Brooks, DJ, Patrick, Woodland, Xander, Simpson.
Where's T-Dub on that list?
8.
Okay.
JT's 7, followed by Finau, Kuchar, DeChambeau, Cantlay. And that leaves some bigger names outside the top 12 even right now. So the top 15 to round out is Kisner, Fowler, Ches Reavie. Spieth is 17, Bubba 18, Mickelson 27, Morikawa 31, and Wolf
It's the dehumidifier.
The hell is beeping?
Wolf 70.
I like Matt Wolf.
Wolf and Morikawa are interesting picks. They're young. If you want
match
to
play experience.
and if you want to expand the U.S. team, because they said after those top 10, there's a lot of middle of the road guys. Like I said, Ches Reavie is sitting 15 right now.
Yeah, I don't.
And so,
nothing against Ches Reavie. I have no interest in watching him on the Ryder Cup.
Right. That's why I think it'd be neat to have.
Sorry, Ches.
Morikawa seems like he's at the top of the odds sheet.
I like Wolf.
Every week.
He's got the experience.
Yeah. They just finished match play, 2 years ago.
Love the Kisner. Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he won the match play 2 years ago and didn't get picked.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Exactly.
Kisner is one of the best putters on tour. Imagine like him and Wolf in like an alternate
Just
shot
freeing him up.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Just let him. Like I said, Kisner seems like one of those guys you just. Whoever you put him with, he's going to be free. He's not going to tense up. He's just going to play.
Yeah. I love Kiss. Colton's been playing a lot of golf with Dewey, by the way, because they're not on a tour. So he's like, we play all the time.
Really?
Yeah. He's just remembered on it, Mimosa.
Okay.
By the way, Colton's on the podcast. He's been texting me. He's on his way back home. He'll be back. He's like, I'm going home for a couple of weeks. I'm like, the McGill's next week, right?
Yeah,
that kid needs a personal assistant with a calendar.
Yeah.
To answer his text
No
and
doubt.
to arrange his schedule.
So the McGill, I need to bring my welded flow neck 5W.
Just to flash it?
It's still for sale, Colton.
Yeah. Still for sale.
I got an unwelded neck 5W.
Yeah, you don't want that.
It's not black. Jamie inquired. He says, "You think Russ will sell me one of his putters?" I'm like, "I don't think you'll like the price tag of Russ's putters."
Yeah, that's true.
Jamie, I've got a couple if you want.
I only have two that I would sell, and the cheaper of the two would probably be $350.
The 5W.
No,
Oh.
the Circus 62 that I had done at Custom Shop.
Oh yeah, is that the? Oh yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So yes, it is for sale, but you probably won't like the price tag.
Everything's got a price tag.
yeah. I'll rephrase that. All 10 of them are for sale. If you want to pay what I want.
Except for that slant neck, because if you take that out of play, I'm kicking you in the balls.
That's true.
So then I saw if they're chartering planes for these guys to go, to travel.
Right.
They're actually charging them. They're charging PGA Tour players $600.
I mean, most of those guys can afford it.
Yeah,
So
if they're not on a private jet, at least they're going to be on the charter.
600.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's probably a lot cheaper than what they usually spend. Because I think usually they split, like, some of the better known guys will split that wheels up charter planes. They'll get like 3 of them that split them, and I think those are like a minimum of $5,000 or something a flight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they'll split it like 3 or 4 ways. So actually, 600 is pretty reasonable for them.
And then they have.
I mean, think about just flying. I'm just picking from here to Texas or whatever. I mean, you're gonna pay $500 anyways, right?
Yeah, they said it's $300 for Corn Ferry players. Must be if they're playing. And
Oh,
I don't know how that works.
So random thought time then. If I was a PGA Tour pro, I would be going the full-blown John Daly route with the RV and have a driver driving me around.
So Bubba did.
Living in the RV and driving from tournament to
Bubba's got an RV. He said he was going to be there this week in an RV.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
That's what I would be doing.
I mean, you can those RVs could cost you $1 million. I mean, they could.
Yeah, but I'd be a stud if I was on the PGA Tour. So
No, that's what I'm saying. That's.
I don't know why you're not there.
Spend $1 million on an RV and just have someone drive you around, and
yep.
I mean, a lot of those are big enough that they're pretty relaxing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know where I was going with that, but that would be mine.
You're right.
I also hate airplanes, but I still think that would be the way to go.
So that's your unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
It's not because I hate airplanes. It's because it's just the route I would go.
And if he couldn't get an RV, he'd be trying to hop in the tour vans.
Oh, that'd be pretty sick too. Get sponsored by like Callaway, be like, I'll just drive the truck for you, and you can pay me extra money.
I read a thing. I don't know if there's anybody that does it now. There used to be a caddy out on tour. He would haul the clubs. He had like a little trailer, and he would haul clubs for players. They pay him like a small fee. He'd throw them in the trailer and just meet him at the next stop.
Yeah,
It's not a bad deal.
Yeah,
We could probably start that up.
you're probably right. We could.
Probably charge them $50 and you get like
better get a shitload of players.
Yeah,
you
better
get like 20
or a
bags.
bigger trailer.
You get 20 bags and every week.
Adam would charge $50 and then spend $1,000 in gas going to the venue.
Well, do you remember the year?
Life's going well.
I think it was the TaylorMade van was here one year for the LPGA. And it left here and caught on fire on the highway.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That's
Girl I caddied for was sponsored by TaylorMade. She was like, well, Guess I'm not getting any stuff anytime
Yeah.
soon.
That's,
Van caught on fire last night. Hey, hit me with new
not too
seltzer
bad.
over there. Surprise me with a little.
Oh, Ross, you need one?
I guess so. Unlike Kyle, I'm going to pick a flavor though. What do we got over here? We'll give Blue Light Seltzer a shout out if they want to sponsor us here. We'll give them a couple episodes to get with us.
Mango lemon.
Nope.
I'll try the mango. I'll take one for the team.
Blood orange blackberry. Or grapefruit. No. Yeah.
You got multiples? You got what you want? All right, you got two of them. I'll take one of them. Blood orange blackberry. I do, for the record, know what a blood orange looks like.
You know what a blood orange looks like, but not a mango.
I got nothing on this flavor.
Correct.
It's like
Seltzer water.
Cat piss.
That'd be a Heineken.
I actually can smell like lemon more than mango.
I love lemon. Doesn't truly have
Which word is first?
Mango.
Yeah, if you don't like the flavor, flip it upside down and the flavors flip. I need to try the Truly ones because they have a lemonade.
They're not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all right.
They're not bad.
They're not.
Those are the ones I've had.
Okay.
I had first.
I
but-
love lemon. Random fact of the day: I love lemon,
There it is again. 2 facts.
and
one
I
podcast.
still hate LeBron James.
Do you want?
Next,
Do you want to transition to NBA then?
sure, why not?
Unless you got anything else for golf. I mean, we'll do the draft at the end here.
Yeah.
What was I gonna? Oh, yeah, you know what? Last episode we moved on from golf quickly. So the Tiger Woods Phil Mickelson event.
Yeah.
All right. So we've heard a lot about slow play on tour the last X number of years.
Yep.
And in that event, those guys were in golf carts. They were wearing shorts. They were using rangefinders.
Which, by the way, not to cut you off, they were practicing in shorts this week.
Yeah. Well, I think you're allowed to now.
I think
right?
they've
Is that a
actually been
new rule?
Yeah.
No,
No, it's-
they've been doing that for a year or two,
It
actually.
was like the PJ Championship like a year
Started
and a half
it,
ago.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they said, yeah, just whatever.
Okay.
So, two-part question. If players rode in carts, do you think it would speed up play? If they rode in carts and used rangefinders, and then overall, if that was the look of the tour, shorts, rangefinders, golf carts, would you have an issue with that from a professionalism standpoint?
I wouldn't have an issue. My only fear would be carts and doing stuff to the course. But
I don't really have an issue with it. I know a lot of players have turned down or shot down the idea of a rangefinder because I'm on that bandwagon. You have guys that are out there. DeChambeau's one of them. Just overanalyzes and just so many numbers, and you could tell him it's 154, to the front, and he's going to want to know what it is
Yeah.
to the ridge, to the pin. I mean, just
Right.
I mean, and that's the hard part is I could get a distance that's 163, but what's the wind doing? You're still probably gonna need your caddy. So
I'm fine with that.
I do say all of that, assuming there would still be a caddy.
Right.
with him. Even if you're riding a cart,
Right.
caddy driving and helping you.
limo driver.
I know some of the players have shot it down, the whole rangefinder thing, because they said, "Oh, there's still yardages we need to carry certain things." I don't know about you guys, but I can still ping that with a rangefinder. I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I've grabbed a tree. 4 at Indian Hills is a prime example. I always pinpoint that tree on the left if I'm in the rough or anything, just to see what it is to the pond.
I don't know.
The riding in carts is a stretch. I know. I acknowledge that. That only popped into my head because we saw Tiger, Phil, Tom Brady, and Peyton
buzzing
doing
around,
that.
yeah.
So it kind of made me think of it.
I think those carts were juiced though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They were hauling ass in those
They were
things.
flying.
Yeah. I do think the potential of shorts and rangefinders, I think we could see one or both of those at some point in the next 10 years on the PGA Tour.
I'm fine with rangefinder. I think that if they still want to have their books, get a yardage and be like, if you
Yeah.
got to get more precise once in a while, be like, oh, there's that
Yes.
bunker there, the pin's this far. That's fine. But if
Yeah.
there's once in a while you're like, hey, what do I got for the flag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The basic stuff, you can get a rangefinder. If you got a hole that's right in front of you, there's not a lot going on. When you're in the fairway, like, what do I got flag? What do I got front? You can do all of that with a rangefinder.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously your caddy just carries it and shoots the yardage, whatever.
They use
And
them on the Champions Tour.
Right. And obviously I use them in college.
I don't think they use rangefinders on the Champions Tour, but they use carts.
Right.
and they still have caddies.
Yeah.
Some of them, I think the rules vary where they can't ride in the cart. The caddy can. I don't know. There's various rules.
Yeah,
but
maybe just let the caddies and players walk. Caddies can use the cart, and they get up there. They have a yardage ready for them. They could have everything calculated by the time the player
that
gets
alone
there.
would speed up play.
Right.
Yeah.
If that caddy was, grabbed the club and whatever, went ahead of the player, got all the information, so when the player arrived.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I also think for the health of the caddies, it'd be nice to see them go more towards like stand bags than the giant.
Oh my gosh,
tour staff bags.
Especially when it's so I assume it's going to be hot this week down in Texas. Yeah. I thought about the PGA Championship 2 years ago in St. Louis. It was like 110.
We have the big fans by the greens.
Yeah,
not the fans that cheer, like the fans.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of these players are picky about they need 4 sandwiches and 12 bottles of water and a dozen balls and this and that. But if you can't, especially as a pro, if you can't get through a round of golf with the equipment you can put into a stand bag, something's wrong, in my opinion.
And you don't need to put all that stuff in your bag because, especially the drinks,
there's usually
they have coolers like every other hole.
Yeah,
and if you put 6 balls in your bag and then you get down to 3 left, you can be like, hey, can you bring those other 6 from my locker? I might need them.
Right.
I think there's a limit. They're only allowed to carry 10 or 12 balls in their bag.
Sergio needed a few last year at the Masters.
Yeah, they're only allowed to carry so many.
I would have known that. We got to start penalizing him.
Okay. He got a Shaq back in his pocket.
Yeah. All right, that's all I had with golf.
I agree. All right, let's go to NBA.
Next show.
NBA has made the move. They've announced, they've given a timeline. They're coming back. July 31st, they're going to play at Disney. This was a pretty unanimous vote. There was one team, Portland, who voted no for the comeback. And Portland is in the mix. They could potentially win the title.
Disney's going to be packed.
Yeah.
Because another sport is going there as well.
Who is?
The MLS. Just announced that they're going to Disney as well.
Do they have a deal with ESPN?
I don't know. They might.
It's probably why, because ESPN Disney. So just some quick, I'll throw out some quick stuff in here, and we can ramble on about it. 22 teams total, 8-game wrap-up regular season, and there's a possible play-in for after the regular season, 8 games for the 8 seed, and that is contingent on if the team with the 8th best record is more than 4 games better than the team that's got the 9th best record, there is no play-in. If it's, I believe, 4 or less, or 3 or less, they do a little playoff to figure out who gets that 8th. Teams not returning: Atlanta, Charlotte, Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, Minnesota, and New York. But all those teams have actually, I guess, been in contact with each other, because if they're not going to play, it's going to be, I think they said 9 months before any of them actually have any sort of competitive basketball.
December, right?
Yeah, they're thinking about doing a mini league, with them.
Sorry, can you list those teams off again real quick?
Yeah, it's Atlanta, Charlotte, Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, Minnesota, and New York.
Yeah. So all but one.
Warriors are in the playoff scenario?
I guess.
I think so.
I thought they were way the hell down.
No, because they won a few games near the end.
Okay. I'm not questioning you. That surprises me.
That's what when I looked it up.
And that's so Russ and I were talking on Friday about that. There's how many teams did you name? 7, 8, whatever it was?
Yeah.
Only one of those is a Western Conference team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm still confused about and I don't understand. There's 9 teams in the Eastern Conference and 13 from the West.
Yeah.
So they just disregarding conferences at this point?
I think so. They just went on some I don't know. I didn't look into it. Yeah, they must have just gone with some points total and just cut it off there. It didn't matter what conference.
I think you had to be within so many games to make it.
Yeah.
6. They had to be within 6 games, I believe, of the 8th spot.
There was something they put into play, and
so therefore, that would mean the West was
close.
Much more tightly packed.
I think there was 4. I think I had mentioned this to you Friday. There was 4 or 5 teams that were within a game and a half or a half game of each other.
Right.
From the 7 spot to the 10 spot or something, 11 spot, something like that.
So just some quick dates. It's going to make it interesting. The international players return on the 15th of June. All players report on the 21st of June. On July 7th, after their mini camps, they travel to Orlando. They then from there go for a few weeks. They do their 8-game season, if you want to call it, mini season. And then if there is games needed for that 8th seed, August 16th and 17th, they do a play-in tournament. The 25th, they draw the lottery, which is about a week after they do their whole finalize. They do the playoffs September. The 30th of September would be the NBA Finals. On the 15th of October would be the actual NBA draft this year instead of it's usually in, June?
June, July.
Something like that.
In there.
And that would actually be 3 days after Game 7 if it were to go to a Game 7. And then to pack it in even tighter, October 18th starts free agency. I heard that was one of the agreements. It's 3 days instead of a week or 10 days, whatever, for free agency. Season will continue if players test positive. And if they do test positive, they do a 7-day quarantine. They're allowing 1,600 people on campus. Disney has 2 practice courts and weight rooms for players.
So that's obviously you mentioned NBA Finals. I think
You like it?
Not that sip.
Well, the one before it was better.
we'll take it.
That was the first one.
Take a bigger sip.
Blood orange blackberry. I don't know about this one.
So I think within like a 4-week span, potentially we could see
No.
the NBA championship, the Stanley Cup, the Masters, and I'm going to throw the World Series in there, but I don't see it happening. But so, yeah.
We'll get to baseball.
We'll get
So
to that.
there's a potential in a 4-week span we could see basically 4 championships,
Which we've talked about in the
decided.
past, where this
Sign
is
me up.
this can be lining up to like an unbelievable
Yeah,
just
sign me up
Yeah.
for that.
fall for sports with
Yep.
It turns out I have a lot of time on my hands right now, so we can do that. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys? I'm glad they're coming back. I mean,
Yeah. I think the big
not a LeBron fan. We got a not a LeBron fan over here, but
Is
I'm
LeBron
excited.
in this.
Yeah, but I do want to see some sort of sports.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
glad golf's coming back.
So I think golf. I think it'll be big for NBA and NHL to see how, obviously, totally different sports, but
Yeah.
to see how golf comes back. Because I know Nance has said he's going to address coming right off the air Saturday. I think, obviously, all the protests and COVID and everything. He's going to address it. He said it's probably the most nervous he's been, and probably the most important thing he's ever done in his career, is that initial coming on the air to basically bring sports back.
Yeah, but to counter Jim Nance, and I like Jim Nance. You're not technically the guy bringing sports back. We've
Well-
already got stuff going on, but
Well,
golf's coming back, and yes.
yeah, of the bigger, obviously, UFC's looked at.
Which, by the way, I want to ask you too. I've been meaning to ask you this since we've been on a big hiatus because there hasn't been a lot going on. By big hiatus, our last podcast was like the 28th of May. I can't stand Max Kellerman,
Oh man.
but the two of you,
We get a text from Kyle like 3 times a week about Kellerman.
Max Kellerman, you guys are big hockey fans. I don't dislike hockey. I like hockey, but I don't watch it like you guys do. Max Kellerman said that hockey was not one of the 4 major sports.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, he said nobody cares about hockey, which I'll call bullshit on that right away. I don't watch a lot of ESPN, so I don't know Max Kellerman very well.
There's a
Like you
reason.
do, so I didn't have a.
He's
opinion
a
on
type of person why
can
you
suck
don't
a
watch.
fat one.
Yeah, he's the type of person why you don't watch ESPN.
it. Yeah.
I mean, hockey's got to be one. It probably close to basketball, but one of the bigger world. Obviously, soccer's up there, but world sports of the 4 major around
Yes.
the world. Like hockey's obviously huge around the world.
Extremely international.
So
So like then I tell you a couple weeks ago, 17% of their players are international.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also feel like most hockey fans are not casual. They're
No, they're not.
Yeah.
hardcore.
yeah,
It's not like baseball where you have guys or people that'll tune in or even attend a game just on a casual basis as something to do. Most hockey fans
They're hockey fans.
they dive into it, which is how I am.
yeah.
He couldn't be more wrong about this. Clearly, he doesn't like hockey, and that's fine. Hockey doesn't need Max Kellerman, so stay away. But
I love this Max Kellerman bashing. The guy doesn't actually know anything about any sports.
No.
He's dumber than a football bat.
funny thing is, I searched that quote when we first came on.
Oh, it's gonna be
here
good.
about half hour ago.
You got Twitter comments?
No, but there was something else he commented on
You could
today.
you could probably
apparently.
spend a few days going through Twitter comments on something like
He
that.
just goes off on. He has no idea what he's talking about.
So something we don't probably want to dive into here, but talking about the equality statements that a lot of the teams have released lately. And Max Kellerman said that a grade school child could have written the Knicks equality statement. What's the point of saying that?
You know what I feel like? Obviously, he's on. Is he still on with Stephen A. Smith? I don't watch.
Which
ESPN.
makes it worse. Yes,
He's on with Stephen A. So obviously, Stephen A. Smith he's got that personality that he disregards everything everybody says. He just says what he wants, and it feels like Kellerman's trying to go that way because Stephen A's gotten so big personality wise, and he's trying to. And like I said, I don't watch ESPN, so
if I'm up in the morning and Get Up's on, I'll watch that. Because they just report the news. I can't remember who hosts that, but he's just these are the headlines. This is what's going on. That's what news and sports should be.
Yeah.
And then as soon as those two come on right after, like 9 o'clock, I'm like, oh, it's time to go. And I switch the channel. I don't care. I have zero interest in what they have to say.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So to me, Max Kellerman in hockey is like
Stephen A. and fighting.
Or I was going to say the people we've talked about and coronavirus. If you don't like it, stay away.
Yeah.
There are many passionate hockey fans, so I really don't care what he says. He's a donkey.
Get him another Bud Light Seltzer. You didn't like that one?
I did
Yeah,
not
And the
like
more he
this
gets
one.
into him,
Here, what do you want? You want a random draw?
I'll try this one. I don't fuck about Rona.
All right. Yeah, put that back. Don't like it. Fucking about
You got
Rona.
mango.
It's
All
not
right.
I think
bad.
that's all that's left.
It's better than
We
the
got
other
mango
mangoes.
lemon, so if I drink it this way, it's more lemony.
Yeah.
You got it. If you shotgun it, you taste the lemon.
This guy. So I am interested to see how the games and how the bracket plays out. If there's West playing the West, there has to be at some point. That's a possibility. There's not an even number of teams each conference.
There has to
Well, but they're gonna cut it down. I don't know. I'm confused. And I think we talked about this. I don't know if it was finalized. I didn't read it after the initial proposal. They'll finish the 8-game schedule, and if you're playing a team that didn't make it, you would just have an off night. Well, what if you're a team in the 8th spot in the East, and you're playing your 8 games? 7 of those teams didn't make it.
Sean, I know you're going to be listening and watching this. Could you just send one of us a text or comment on the video? Give us a breakdown. Maybe we'll have to call you in next week or something. Fill us in.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get more. Obviously, we got another 6 weeks until it starts. But it's I feel like nothing's finalized yet.
Yeah, I didn't study up on the NBA thing, but like you say, something's got to be lopsided because there's more Western teams.
Yeah.
Kind of answer the question you were getting back a little bit ago. I'm as far as NBA goes over the last couple of years, I've definitely started to watch more and more of it. So unlike hockey, I am definitely a casual NBA fan, but I kind of don't even care how it's formatted. I'm just looking forward to watching some live basketball again.
So at some point, I don't want to do it tonight because I think it's its own topic. I do want to go down the rabbit hole, you two, with the new rules with college. Guys not going to college or going to G League. They're giving that option. So keep that in mind.
Or to intern at New Balance.
Yeah. I read that too. So at some point, I do want to go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
Texted you earlier. There's no update on hockey right now, right? It's just the same old. Players have reported they're doing mini workouts. That's the newest, correct?
As far as the plan goes, I don't believe anything's changed yet. They still haven't named the 2 cities. They did say that they're having this play-in round before the actual playoffs start. I believe they did say all rounds are going to be best of 7. They were toying with the idea of rounds 1 and 2 being best of 5. So they said they are going to be best of 7.
Okay.
So that is different. And like you just mentioned, players have reported to their home cities. They're allowed to run small group player run practices of no more than 6 players on the ice at a time. So they're rotating these sessions. So a lot of the teams are back on the ice at the moment in small groups.
Okay.
Which right now, they're having a training camp in July. So right now, a lot of these players are just getting back on the ice for the first time and kind of getting back into it.
Yeah,
so,
I doubt they've had any place to skate.
But as far as the plan, nothing's changed since we last talked. They are having the draft lottery on June 26th, which is usually around the date that the actual draft happens. So that's already been delayed. They haven't announced the date on that.
So were they doing the draft after the season?
They haven't said, but I'm thinking I think
Because we
they're
talked
leading
about
up.
the draft picks and the contingencies.
Yeah, they had originally said they were going to keep the draft when it was, which to me would have caused a lot more headaches.
That'd be 2 weeks from today, basically.
Yeah. So
2
I
weeks from
think
tomorrow.
I get the impression they are leaning towards waiting till the season's completed,
Makes more sense,
Or at
especially the contingencies.
or probably at least waiting until they're down to like the conference finals and a lot more is figured out.
I don't watch a ton of hockey throughout the season, but I do love playoff hockey.
Yep.
It's much more intense.
Yeah.
So I
Just,
do.
just imagine having 3 or 4 games a day. It's gonna be.
To me,
It's gonna be great.
I might be broke if the
me,
casino opens.
to me in the playoffs, Game 7, and last year we saw a couple of Game 7 overtimes.
Yeah.
You get into Game 7 and Game 7 overtime. To me, there is not a more exciting scenario in all of sports than an NHL Game 7 overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
because they don't do shootouts, right? It's just
No, it's
it's
not in
still
the
you
playoffs.
score.
you can
Yep.
keep playing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what makes it a little more intense.
The worst part is when you're like, can I get a 15-minute cat nap in before the next during the intermission?
What kind of hockey fan are you?
Yeah.
Dude,
that's amateur status.
Dude,
Yeah.
when it's like 1:30 in the morning, you gotta get a quick nap in.
You got to suck it up.
Yeah.
You know, you make a
Grab a Red Bull, throw some more insulin in the pump, and
cup of
go.
coffee while
and a blue light
intermission.
seltzer.
Sheesh. The other sport that is coming back, maybe, possibly, is baseball. What was that? Is that a meerkat?
I don't know what that was.
Okay. I think it's supposed to be a.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Said it was.
So anyway, baseball's proposed. The Players Association proposed. Counter proposed. 89-game season with the extended playoffs, full prorated salary, and the universal DH. Were some of the highlights of their new proposal, like yesterday.
So
I've heard anywhere from 114 games.
That was the
89
owners.
you mentioned. I even heard a 70 the other day and a 50-game scenario.
Yeah.
And I don't want to steal your thunder, but I think Ad and I are on the same page. I don't think we're seeing baseball this year.
And so obviously, the owners originally proposed 76 games with 75% salary or 75% prorated salary,
Right.
versus the 100 that the players just proposed. And I just saw a tweet maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. John Heyman said he talked to a few owners and they said we're nowhere close.
I heard it wasn't even a starting point.
So
And
I don't see it
read
happening.
89 games in the difference was 25 games that the owners had 114 games.
Yeah.
75%. They want 89 full pay.
Yeah. Well, it's full but prorated still.
Right.
The owners were still gonna. I don't understand if you're gonna prorate it, just prorate it. What's the point of doing 75% prorated pay? I don't. There must be something else behind that.
So until they finalize something, I haven't really read into it, but I get the impression that number of games doesn't matter. They're just fighting over money right now.
Yeah.
And it may have been you that said this to me the other day, so correct me if I'm wrong, but is it true that no matter what, a player is going to get 100% of his contract? It's just a matter of whether it's deferred over future seasons or something. So if like Bryce Harper's making $30 million, and in this scenario he gets paid $20 million this season,
I brought
he's
up the
still going to collect the 10
I
in the
didn't
future.
say that, but I think that's.
I brought up
true.
the deferred. It's not uncommon.
you? Okay.
It's happened before where guys defer money.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm hopeful baseball happens. Here's where I'm at with baseball. I like baseball. I'll watch baseball when I can. Definitely watch playoff baseball because, like hockey, a little more intensity.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you're the sport of baseball, you have so many people that if you talk to the average person and if you talk baseball with them, what's their first response?
It's boring.
It's boring.
Exactly, right. They don't want to watch baseball because it's boring. I usually rebuttal with, yeah, but baseball's a lot more fun live to watch and just go to a game or whatever. Baseball has kind of hurt themselves going into this because if you go back a few episodes ago, I mentioned how A-Rod and Gary Vee were talking about how they do not do themselves any favors on social media. You know, they have this whole like restrictions that they put on about how they make money and the streaming, and I don't know what their TV deals are. They're not very good. So baseball has put themselves in this elite bubble with all these restrictions. And I think it's coming back to haunt them because they don't have as many revenue streams as some other What's so funny?
I'm thinking about him. So, I don't know why it just popped into my head. I'm sorry.
We're gonna have an hour and a half car ride Friday morning, bright and early in the morning,
God.
boys.
So I think baseball's hurting themselves because they have put themselves in this exclusive, whatever you want to call the club, call the bubble, where their revenue streams are there's not as many as other sports. So now they're arguing money. And now you have players. I'm not going to call the players greedy, but I think I can't put myself in their shoes because I don't know all the details. I'm not privy to those conversations. But I feel like right now, if baseball doesn't come back this year, it's not because of the coronavirus. It's because of money. I mean, to me, this whole universal DH thing that they've thrown into their proposal, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like a political tug of war. Like, here's the actual topic, but we're going to throw a bill to the floor and we're going to put some other stuff we want in it and use this as a negotiating tool. And now you have this tug of war, and I think it's a bad look for a sport that's already hurting for fans to maybe not have a season because you're having this war over money. When you can just defer money, you're going to get paid.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think some of it is, and I might be wrong on this, the playoff money that those players get is based off the number of tickets that are sold for the teams. So obviously if they come back, if they don't have fans or something like that, there's no money to be spread. And I think that's something that I think the owners proposed, like just a playoff pool money. Here's the money. We'll put it in the pot, and then we'll spread it. And the players are like, no, we want fans. We want to spread the money that's brought in for each of these teams for all the games.
I feel like they're using the whole virus as it's a segue into their issues with real problems. You know, they have their own agenda of problems. And I just think it's a really bad look for a sport that's already hurting for fans to not play because it's not because of the virus. And it's not because of safety. I just don't buy that anymore. I don't. Because I feel like, if anything, some of the safety precautions they pitch they're over-exaggerated and not needed.
And baseball is one of the sports, right, that those guys are the furthest apart of any sport.
They're outside.
Right. I mean, golf might be the only other one you could make a case that they're further apart.
Right.
But like baseball players on the same team are standing 50 feet from each other at all times.
And all this stuff, and all of these rules, regulations, safety precautions, all this is it's become a PR issue is all it is. It's kind of back like, oh, do we mic up golfers? No, because something might happen and they don't want to deal with the PR, the scrutiny. Yeah. And now it's like, well, if we don't put on this show that we're being super safe with this virus, we don't want to deal with the media and the backlash. And I don't know. I'm kind of tired of it, to be honest. I really am. Because I sent you guys a video the other day. We can't have people in the gyms. We can't do any of this. We can't have fans. And then I send you a video of Trae Young in a jam-packed gym, no one wearing a mask, shoulder to shoulder, watching him play basketball in a summer league game.
It was like a gym that holds 1,500, and they had like 4,000 crammed.
Yes. And not that I have anything wrong with it. I really don't. I mean, it just goes down to, like, it's your personal choice. If you're fine with it, then go do it. If you're that worried, stay home.
Yeah, and obviously I'm a huge being a Braves fan, no joke, I probably watch at least 150 games a year of the 162. So
that is different, by the way. It's not bad.
I like it.
I like it.
But, it's all yours.
I wish baseball would quit dragging everybody along, and I hope by the end of June they're just like, hey, no season.
Yeah.
It'll just make me feel better than, like, we get to, like, second week of July, and they're like, well, they proposed something else, and maybe we'll do this. And it's like, at this point, just have a 32 team.
Yeah.
What you win, you move on. You lose, you go home.
Do a 1 month mini camp and do a best of 7 bracket with all your teams.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
Maybe you get some fans. Maybe someone will watch it.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, baseball has to just decide to cancel if they can't come to an agreement, because they're the one sport that can't go into December, January still playing, unless you were playing on neutral sites in the South or with a roof.
Right. And tell me what the universal DH has anything to do with player safety or money. Nothing. It's just something. I mean,
it's just something else to throw in there.
The only thing I can think of that does is for scheduling purposes. If they had to send teams to, I don't know, neutral site, 4 neutral sites somewhere, and there was an uneven mix of National League and American League, they would just be one set of rules.
Then I feel like it'd be a given though. But
I don't know.
I'm just.
I mean, we're watching the drafts on TV right now, and that's the only thing MLB has going for it, and probably the only thing they're. It's not, in my opinion, it's the only thing they're going to have this year.
It's not a good look for baseball. It's not.
No.
It's not even about safety, or it's all about money and their wants and needs. I'm not going to call the players greedy. I'm not going to call the owners greedy, but they both need to put their damn pride aside, because if you don't have a season this year,
I'll call the players greedy.
Everybody gets 0.
Yeah.
Well, so it doesn't matter.
And I think about it, baseball seems like one of those sports that, I'll say I'm guilty of, I don't know if that's the right word, but people go on vacations in the summer, and it's like, hey, this baseball team's in town. Let's go watch a game.
Yes.
I mean, my dad and I, we've been to a ton of stadiums, but if you can't travel, like, are they even going to get any fans? Obviously they'll get some, they've got their season ticket holders and things like that, but it takes away from, hey, we're going to Florida this summer. We can go to 3 different baseball games if we want to.
Right. I'm still trying to figure out how you get in 150 games. You said you watch 150 to 162.
Every night.
You record them?
No. I just watch on my phone. All the time.
Do you want to tackle?
I have no comment.
Okay.
Ronald Acuna Jr., 2021 MVP.
If they have a season.
No, 2021. That's I threw that.
If they have a season, probably on strike still. So we'll move on.
Next.
We'll move into some fighting.
All right.
We watched UFC 250 this weekend. You watched the undercard. I missed most of the undercard. I was driving.
It was on. I was here hanging out with your wife.
Yeah.
We were more so having conversation while we were waiting for you. So,
and
don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a baby popping out soon.
There is in October. It's mine. Which I find out, by the way, what I'm having. Tomorrow.
Oh, sick.
Oh, boy.
So there was, I thought the fights were fairly good. There were some people I was excited to see return. First of all, we'll just start with the GOAT, or the elephant in the room. I was going to say the goat in the room.
The goat in the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
They call her the GOAT.
Oh.
What dude stepping up to fight Nunez? Because there ain't a chick in the world right now that's going to beat her.
No. Yeah, so Amanda Nunez is, the champ at both 135 and 145.
Yes.
And there is the only potential is Valentina Shevchenko.
Moving up.
At 135. She's the only one that could maybe hang with her, but she's already 0-2 against Nunez. They've already fought twice, and she's lost both. Other than that, so I should have looked this up, but I think Felicia Spencer, that Amanda Nunez fought this past weekend, on all the graphics while we were watching, they did not have a contender number next to Felicia Spencer, which made me think that she was an unranked contender. And to my knowledge, that's the first time I've ever seen an unranked contender fighting the champion.
And was it? I assume it was a title fight.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yep. Which to me that just shows how few options they have right now. We used to think Ronda Rousey dominated women's divisions. Amanda Nunez is on another planet, and there is nobody.
She's not kidding you. She needs to fight a dude. I'm not even joking.
I think.
Would they ever allow it or no?
I don't. No, probably not.
No,
because you have to have approved by an athletic commission. They'll never.
You go back to, we were just talking about PR nightmares. That's a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
I think at 145, Amanda Nunez would hold her own and potentially win fights against men. But if she were to get seriously beat up and seriously hurt, it would be a PR nightmare for the UFC.
I'm telling you, it's silly. It is. The girl she fought.
I've seen her fight.
I don't have Spencer's record. I think it was pretty good though.
Yeah, I could look that up real quick. So that fight being a 5-round championship fight, after the 3rd round, the announcers, Daniel Cormier, Joe Rogan, and us talking in the room, we're like, they legitimately need to throw in the towel.
I've never seen that in UFC fight. I'm like, just
championship fight where they were considering throwing in the towel.
I mean, she didn't. I don't want to say Spencer looked like damage-wise really bad. She was bleeding from spots, but you could tell there was 0 0% chance she was even going to land one punch good enough to knock Nunez out. 0% chance. She looked very unathletic. What's her record?
So Spencer is now 8-2-0. So she was 8-1.
Yeah.
42 significant strikes for Felicia Spencer in a 5-round fight. So
I mean, that's 20 more than Woodley can land in a fight. So
less than 10
I'd say it's about
significant
40
strikes
more than I
around,
would.
whereas Amanda Nunez had 124.
it was ridiculous. I mean, her speed and athleticism over Spencer wasn't even close. Wasn't even close.
Spencer's takedown attempts 0 for 7. Nunez 6 for 7.
She failed one time.
It was probably the most lopsided championship fight I can remember seeing, maybe ever.
Well, yes and no. I'm going to bring up the next person. Cody Garbrandt. Or beat Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Okay.
Cody looked good, and I was happy for Cody. I like Garbrandt, and he's coming off a 3-fight loss streak. 2 of them were to Dillashaw. And there was a different Cody. I thought he was a little more tactful.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't fight with emotion, but
And you know the number one reason for that, right? It's because he was not fighting T.J. Dillashaw, a person who he legitimately hates
on a personal level.
Yeah.
But he fought Rafael Adesanya, and he knocked him out at the bell.
Yeah, he did.
In the second round? Third round? Second round.
Second round. At very end of the second round.
Like, he landed punch, Adesanya hit the floor, or he landed the punch, and as he was falling, boom, bell went off. And the ref looked, and he was like, he just waved it off.
So technically, the ref ended the fight after the second round.
Yeah.
So it was.
What's the official time on that?
Is that a second or third round knockout?
They call it 4:59.
So, yeah.
Round 2 of,
It was great. And then they got Adesanya up on a stool. He couldn't sit up on a stool on his own. They were like, there's 2 people holding him. He was like falling over.
They had to get the stool out of there. Sit
But there was 3 years of anger and torque in that punch.
Yeah.
And it landed clean. I mean, he was bent down. It was all legs, all hips, right hook to the face.
Yeah, that was an impressive
And
punch.
just Tweety birds. That's it.
I feel like that's what would happen if I fought either one of you.
You?
In like a first minute, maybe.
I mean, we could try it out.
You guys want to see it?
If this video gets 5,000 views.
Boxing match?
One of us is punching at him.
Sean O'Malley also had a walk-off KO. Not at the end of the round, but he knocked out the dude. And just as he hit him, the guy fell backward. He just watched him fall and walked away.
Yeah, good old walk-off KO. That was impressive.
So that's the rumor. O'Malley and Garbrandt to fight each other? That's the rumor.
Yes.
Is O'Malley... Yeah, well, and maybe we'll get into this. I don't know what you guys are thinking here. But was O'Malley the one that asked, or called out Dana for wanting more money and wanting to be worth? Okay. Was that somebody else?
That was... Well, John Jones has been wrapped
We'll
up.
get into that, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Jorge Masvidal.
Right. No, but then I thought one of the fighters this weekend that won.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're right.
All right.
Yep.
It's possible.
Yeah, he did.
There's a couple other, like... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just say the main headlines around what you're talking about have been Jones and Masvidal.
Right, but
O'Malley did kind of mention something.
Yeah.
He didn't really make the waves that the other two have been.
There was a couple other smaller fights that weren't that notable. Aljamain Sterling won by submission. That was lopsided. Minute 28 in the first round.
That was a lopsided, impressive fight for Sterling.
Yeah, and Neil Magny won by decision.
There was a guy in the prelims before you got home. This one guy was throwing leg kicks, and his opponent backed up just enough that the leg kick hit just his kneecap, and you could see his kneecap move like 6 inches back and forth. And the guy immediately just grabbed his leg and went down and gave up. So he technically won by a kick to the kneecap.
Is that what they called it?
No, that's what I'm calling it.
It actually goes in the books, I believe, it's a TKO.
Yeah, it is a TKO. It's technical knockout.
So then Dana White this week finally announced where Fight Island is.
He did.
It's on the Yas Islands in Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
UFC 251 will be taking place there. They have events July 11th, 15th, 18th, and 25th. So I want to bring up July 11th. is usually International Fight Week in Vegas.
And I heard 3 title fights, right?
Yes.
Overall.
Yeah. So the UFC 251 card is 3 title fights. But before we get into that, this is where I'm extremely disappointed in where we're at today with the whole virus stuff. Because I feel like you're taking away from a lot of guys. July 11th would be International Fight Week in Vegas, since it is the headquarters for the UFC. They always do their ceremony where they induct guys into the Hall of Fame. They announce them as it throughout the year, but they actually have the actual ceremony during Fight Week. Always have a big card and a lot of hoopla and stuff going on in Vegas. I feel extremely sorry for the guys getting inducted in the Hall of Fame because I feel like we should have that ceremony. We should have those fights.
Especially so what we got George St. Pierre, and this sounds bad, I'm going to forget the other guy's name, who has passed away.
Yes.
So he's being inducted post-mortem, which would be somewhat of a opportunity for his family to get together and celebrate. And they're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
So that kind of stuff.
So that was going to be one of my questions. Because this is on a island, are they allowed to say, hey, we can sell 1,000 tickets and people could go?
I don't think
because it's their island, or
I don't know. He didn't mention anything about fans. The only thing Dana White mentioned is they're going to be on this island, and they're going to be in a bubble within it's like a 10-mile radius. They have everything. They have the hotels, the train facilities, the gyms for the fighters, inhibited by only the UFC.
Yep.
They're going to be there basically a month.
right?
And it is. He did say the cage is going to be on the beach, on the sand.
Right.
But this place is like a big tourist attraction kind of island. It's only really it's basically connected to the land.
Yeah.
But there's like a river that runs around 2/3 of it, so technically it's an island. But I was picturing Gilligan and the skipper out in the middle of nowhere.
Take a boat out there.
Yeah. But this has Ferrari World. It has some huge water park that's famous in Abu Dhabi. And there are a couple other things. It's actually, this island is a huge tourist attraction in Abu Dhabi. So it's not like they're on a remote island,
correct,
with just a ring and
that
some
would be
tents
sick.
where they're
It's like
sleeping.
Survivor mode.
Yeah.
You got to survive the week in order to fight.
How much money do you think they're losing right now? The U.S. in Vegas. Huge money for Vegas and Nevada.
Vegas a ton, yeah.
Vegas has got to be hoping.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're praying that they get NHL.
Now, we watched. Yeah, exactly. I hope they get NHL because we watched the UFC. They had 3 cards in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And although there was no fans, it was still entertaining. They did the in-ring announcing, and they did the octagon interviews. They go to Vegas and they're making them wear masks. They're not doing
is that where it was this week?
The last couple cards have been in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's just no consistency.
Kevin Randleman is
That's who it was,
the
yes.
guy I was thinking of. So 20. Yeah, so George St. Pierre and Kevin Randleman are being inducted this year.
Yeah.
Kevin Randleman postmortem.
So it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those. But the card, huge. I will be getting it. There will be watching here.
I don't know if I want to list that off. Or,
I got it right here.
Yeah,
Usman fights Gilbert Burns. Burns just beat Woodley, who was a former champ. Yep. Woodley still needs to learn how to engage in a fight before he wins the belt again.
Yep.
The rumor is Usman fighting Burns. That fight was actually offered to Masvidal, who turned it down. Even at the 11th hour, he turned it down.
Really?
He wants the money.
This, I don't even know if you want to get into this.
Yeah, we will.
Stuff right now. Okay.
Max Holloway is getting his rematch with Alexander Volkanovski for his featherweight title, which
A Polish brother.
it's well deserved, and it's going to be a good fight. There it is again. Peter Yan is fighting Aldo for the vacated bantamweight title, which
Cejudo just gave up.
we'll get more into that.
Okay.
Rose Yamanunas is fighting Jessica Andre. That's a rematch.
Yep.
No belt on the line because Wheelie Zhang currently has that belt.
Correct.
And then Russ's girl, Paige Van Zandt, is fighting Amanda Ribas.
Yeah, she is.
That is the main card.
So, yeah, 5 fights, 3 championship fights.
Correct. It'll be a late night because those last 2 will be
Yes.
5-round fights. Last 3 fights.
11th. That's not a golf tournament weekend for us,
Well-
so we can stay up and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
would anyway.
Time zone change, right?
They will probably have it in. That's a good point, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing they'll have it over there at a time that it would be prime time.
Here.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that was very similar to the. I'd have to look it up. Don't
good
quote
quote.
me, but the Poirier Khabib fight.
Yeah.
Because no, that happened during the day. We were here.
Yeah, it was. I
was
thought
alright.
saw a couple of them during the day. So
Abu Dhabi. Spelled that wrong. Dhabi. Probably still spelled it wrong.
Abu Dhabi.
Current time.
So, other fights announced not taking place in.
Yeah.
We got time zone.
So
It's like
they're
9 hours.
8 hours ahead of us, I believe. So
That might be a morning.
maybe that won't happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
'cause
might be
right now. What's it say? 5:42 in the morning.
5:42 a.m. So they
I
would.
mean, you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning, right?
Yeah, you can't punch guys all day if you don't
Yeah.
start in the morning. So yeah, that. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll retract that statement. That might be a 10 o'clock thing over there that happens at noon here or something like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't add up, but you know what I'm getting at.
Pending weather, pending weather.
9 hours
How
rest.
about this?
That's true. Pending weather, it is outdoors.
Pending weather. Well, I'll probably have a roof over there, but because they did that for the Khabib fight, I think it was kind
Yeah.
of inside, outside, and it
Yeah.
was hot.
Dana White can afford a roof.
Yeah. So pending weather. Maybe I'll run the cable outside and we'll watch it on the porch outside.
Pending
Oh,
weather here.
pending weather here in
Pending
Corning,
weather
New
here.
York.
I like
Yes.
that.
You like that?
I like that.
We can make that happen.
Okay. Can we bring in some sand and tiki torches and?
I got tiki torches.
So like we're at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Could you bring a ring in for wrestling?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I will make one.
Careful.
Well, he's
Be
got
careful.
he's got
Remember, I got nothing but spare time, and this video gets 5,000 views.
he's got a fence out there already. So I guess
Yeah.
we could just stay within the fence.
So other fights announced yesterday. DC and Stipe are going to get it on again.
Yes, they are. Third time. That
Third
is
time, August 15th.
August 15th.
So it wasn't a lie like 4 months ago when we talked about it.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was finally signed for the 15th. I think Stipe is able to get back in the gym. He had some eye issues.
What day did you say?
August 15th.
August 15th, yeah. And let's be honest, this is also happening because John Jones is, I don't know, doesn't want to fight. He wants to get paid. So I think if he wanted to get paid, he'd be fighting potentially Miocic for the.
Could be. I mean, this has been a talk for a while. So Ariel Helwani said that this is probably it for DC. They asked him that, and he said yes.
I think it is.
But he said, what if DC wins? We don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to vacate the belt, or is he going to walk away?
Yeah, that's true.
Or does he get a huge payday and fight Jones at heavyweight?
So I think
I say if DC wins, right? Wouldn't Jones be like, "Hey, I'll take that fight now"?
if DC wins heavyweight title and they throw the money at both him and Jones,
They'll do it.
that fight will happen. Yeah. If Jones doesn't want to fight because Jones is having money issues with the UFC right now, and that fight would be against anybody else, I don't think DC takes it. So I think I will agree with that. If DC beats Miocic, the only way he'll fight again is if it's against Jones
At heavyweight
at heavyweight.
for a lot of money.
At heavyweight, yes.
And then Ariel Helwani said he thinks there's a possibility this is it for DC or for Stipe. He said if Stipe loses, he could see him walking away. I don't. Granted, the guy's got nothing left to prove. My opinion, he's probably one of the best heavyweights ever.
How old is he?
Good question.
Yeah, I'll look that up. I don't think.
I don't see Stipe walking
I
away.
don't think so. Especially if Miocic loses and DC retires, you have a vacated belt. Miocic in a heavyweight division that's not really that deep, he's still probably one of the top two contenders for it.
He's probably going to fight Jones or Nagano
Right. Yeah.
for that belt.
Stipe is 37. He'll be 30. He'll be 38 in August.
So I don't
What's
think he's done.
What's a
Cormier is even a lot older.
Cormier's in his 40s. Yeah.
Cormier's 41.
what's like an average retirement age?
Some of these guys, like, they get in their early 40s, they might
It's-
walk away. Unless you're Uriah
I was
Faber.
going to say, I feel like it's kind of all over the map, but yeah, I would say late 30s, early 40s.
So we'll get into the money issues. First, not a money issue. Connor tweeted that he retired. It's the third time he's tweeted that he's retired. And I already mentioned to you the other day, I used to be a fan of Connor, supported the guy. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of the guy. Like,
Yep.
stop fighting all your fights on Twitter.
Yep.
If you're that good, get back in the octagon.
Yep.
He's picking fights at lightweight. He's won one fight at lightweight because they gave him a title shot and he moved up.
Yeah. I'm sick of hearing him run his mouth. Just
Yeah, guys, and to me, it's bullshit because you have guys who had a good night. Garbrandt had a good night, come back after 3 fight. Nunez having a great night. Basically probably the greatest women fighter all time. And this jackass has got to get on Twitter and make it about himself. Oh, I'm retiring. And then that's the news. Yeah. That's all they talk about. And I'm like, I don't want to hear about Conor tweeting and he hasn't fought in like 2 years. Yeah. I just don't.
So we've got Conor retired, Cejudo retired.
Retired, but said yesterday that he would possibly come back to fight Volkanovski for the belt and move up a weight class.
Right. So that's what I'm getting at. You got Conor retired, Cejudo retired, and Jones, for money issues, has said he's walking away. And I would bet my money we'll see all three of those guys in the octagon again.
I think it's all a ploy. I mean, I think John's trying to get more money.
John, you know as well as I do, both do. I've been a huge John Jones fan. So have you, and I think even for the casual fan, you have too. It has something to do that he's from our relative area around here. Right. He's definitely one of the top 3 greatest fighters ever.
Yeah.
But similar to Conor, I'm kind of getting sick of him.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about you.
I'm getting tired of hearing about the money issues and all his legal issues. And if you can get your shit straight, he's admitted early in his career he was getting paid around $2 million a fight. And recently it's been $5 million a fight. Now, I don't know what he wants. Floyd Mayweather money where he's getting $300 million for
said he won, but the rumor was he wanted Wilder money, which was $30 million. Then he tweeted, said, I never mentioned Wilder money. I don't even get half of half.
Yeah.
Which would be, so if you want to get paid, don't take it to Twitter. Be a man about it and have a conversation with Dana White. Supposedly these guys haven't even had a conversation.
Yeah.
Jones is tweeting and Dana White's talking to the media about it. Stop, both of you. Stop.
Yep. I thought you said we were going to talk about UFC 250 and Fight Island. I wrote 5 words down. McGregor retires, John Jones, Masvidal. I didn't write anything about the 2 things you mentioned.
I mean, Masvidal's
the same way.
Same way. I love Masvidal, but
so this is going to go back to this is my face where I'm drawing a blank real quick, who we were talking about with Scottie Pippen. Oh. So you signed a contract like Scottie Pippen did. John Jones, all UFC fighters, they typically sign a contract for X number of fights. It's probably commonly between 3 and 6 fights. So you sign this contract, I'm going to fight 6 fights under the UFC promotion. And I don't know how it works, but that contract has to have financial arrangements written down. Right. Your base salary and a percentage of pay-per-view sales, most likely.
Right.
If John Jones has at least, I believe, 1 fight left on his contract. I think
he just signed a new contract.
Okay.
I almost want to say he just agreed to like a 5-fight contract.
So if he was having this argument when his contract was up and was not under contract, then okay, I can deal with that. This is your negotiation tactic. If you just signed a deal and you've still got 5 fights left under the UFC promotion, then you shouldn't have signed that contract if you don't like the details.
I'm not 100% correct, but I think I thought I read that he just signed a new contract.
Is that what you're looking up?
I'm trying to.
So that's I don't know. I'm sure I'm wired differently, but I'm just sick of these guys that sign a contract, get 25% into it, and then they don't like the contract anymore. Well, then you should have signed something shorter.
Right. So here, I'll give you an example. And you guys know I can't believe I'm saying this. I'll just say this. When it comes to Jones and DC, I'm Team Jones.
100%.
The more I listen to DC call fights, he's not a bad guy, I don't think. But as you said, we've always been Team Jones.
Yeah. I'm sure some of our dislike of Cormier is because we're Jones fans.
Right.
It's not necessarily all hatred towards Cormier. It's somewhat of an allegiance towards Jones.
Correct. I 100% agree with that. So here's where I will give DC credit. He mentioned the other day in his show with Ariel Helwani, his current contract DC has, if he is not the title holder, if he's the contender, in his contract, it's been in his contract for like 3 years, and he said, I went back like after I won the light heavyweight belt, redid a contract. If he's the contender, it's in his contract that he gets paid $300,000 base salary for the fight. $300,000. That's it. That's not a lot for a guy who you might consider the greatest of all time. But if DC wants more money, does he go to Twitter and tweet about it? No.
So when we were just looking up Amanda Nunes, Felicia Spencer, I believe I just read that Amanda Nunes got paid $450,000 for UFC 250.
That's it.
And we're you can make the argument that she's in the conversation of greatest fighter ever. She's clearly the most dominant female fighter at 2 weight classes.
Right.
And she's making a percentage of what John Jones is making.
Now, granted, some of that money some of it is public, some of it is not.
Yeah. I'm sure that's her base salary. That's not including pay-per-view buys percentage.
But like DC said, if I'm going to a fight, I just go to Dana and say, hey, can we talk about this?
Right. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, you don't put it in the public eye, and you don't go to Twitter and if you're looking to get anywhere. I mean, we all seen Dana White in action, and the guy has built an empire in the UFC. And if you're trying to do business with him, he's no filter, he's no bullshit. Going to Twitter and tweeting about it is not going to get you a contract.
Dana White has always been. I love listening to his press conferences because he pulls no punches. He is 100% bluntly honest, and it doesn't matter if he's ripping somebody a new one. And he sticks to his guns, and I've grown to pretty much trust what he's saying. And,
he's pretty black and white.
Yeah, when you got Dana White answering questions at a press conference about Jones and Jones rambling on Twitter, to be quite honest, I'm going to believe Dana White. I don't understand the logic.
Yep. I don't understand like the angle. Like that's not how you're going to get things done. You got an update over there?
I got nothing.
Okay.
All I can see is Dana White told obviously Masvidal that he doesn't need him to make money. So.
And he's right.
Which is right. Yeah.
I mean, Masvidal sold a lot of fights with the whole Diaz thing because of the hype and the belt. But
and one thing I believe it was Dana White that said this. For most UFC contracts, he has it written in there that he is required to offer fighters 3 fights per year. So if he offers you a fight in February and you turn it down, he's now required to offer you 2 more. He's not trying, if you turn one down, he doesn't still have to offer you 3 to try to get you 3 fights. Just throughout the calendar year, he has to offer a fighter 3 fights. So if John Jones said, I believe John Jones said right now he's making around $5 million a fight. So if that contract is true, Dana White's required to offer John Jones 3 fights this year, which would get him around $15 million per year.
Plus pay-per-view probably.
Right. Which puts him up into the upper echelon as far as all athletes go, as far as their salaries.
I just don't understand.
For basically 3 days of fighting, right?
I mean, there's a lot.
I mean, there's a lot of training and everything else.
There's constant training, and then you have.
But it's entirely different from playing 162 baseball
games.
You
have 8 weeks camp. Yep. You have to pay your gym. You have to pay your coaches. There is other stuff involved.
Three fights. Yeah, it's 3 fight nights. You could probably argue that each fight night, like you just said, is about 2 months of work. So you're talking 6 months of work for potentially around $15+ million. There aren't many athletes that would turn that down.
Now, on the flip side, do I think they can afford to pay their fighters more?
I do. I agree with you.
I do. They want boxing money, and I don't understand. I don't know how boxing can afford to pay their fighters that. I mean, to me, boxing just doesn't have.
Yeah. Boxing
doesn't have the structure and their weight classes and stuff to make it easy for people to follow. Therefore, they don't have as many fans. In my opinion.
So I 100% agree they could be paying them more.
Yeah.
But again, I just go back to you signed a damn contract. You gotta live with it until that's up.
Right.
If you wanna negotiate, argue numbers, whatever you want to do when you're a free agent, so be it.
And you got guys like Jones and some of these guys. Now I don't know if Jones. I'm just guessing here. Is it possible? Is John taking this avenue because he's sticking up for all the fighters? I mean, we saw a guy last week win his fight, and then when they did a post-fight interview, he was upset. He's like, I still have to go to work on Monday. I mean, he was claiming he's not making enough money, that this is his only job after winning a fight in the UFC. So I would like to see some of these lower tier guys, if they're going to make it to the UFC, at least give them a little more money than what these guys are claiming they're making.
So I don't have anything on the current contract, but this is 2014, so obviously 6 years ago. John Jones signed an 8-fight contract, but Dana said he would renegotiate after 3. And I guess that's a lot of that's in a lot of contracts from what
I think it
reading
is.
You know, if they have a 6-fight contract, he'll renegotiate after a certain number
And
of
that's
fights.
fine, but don't do it over Twitter.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
That's not how you get things done.
Yeah. I really don't care which side of the fence you fall on with this. You know, if you're in the athlete shoes, don't
do it on Twitter.
Don't do it on Twitter. Don't do it on.
If you're
social
looking
media.
for a stalemate in a contract negotiation, take your shit to Twitter.
That's like if me working my 9 to 5, if I feel like I want to raise, that's like me going to the local newspaper and putting an article in there. That really is the equivalent of that.
Yeah.
You won't.
You're right. I won't because I'm not a donkey like
nobody
John
reads.
Jones.
Nobody reads the newspaper, so it'll be
That's true. But I mean, that's
Tweet about
basically
it and
what
tag
that.
the company.
Yeah. But that's basically what that's the.
Yeah, it
equivalent.
really is. You have the guy's phone number.
Yeah.
Call him up and set up some time.
You could call or text him.
You
Set up a
respond
Zoom
back.
call.
Use some of your $5 million to fly out there somewhere and sit down and talk to him.
But yeah, Masvidal, same thing. I mean, I love the guy, but it's like, come on, man. Come on.
And Masvidal is outstanding fighter, but even he's not as proven as somebody like John Jones.
I was gonna say, how many fights has he? I mean, he's obviously fought a lot, but it's not
He's like 48 fights.
right. But recently, is what?
Oh, he blew up in the
5.
last year.
Yeah, right.
Right.
He did the Askren thing, then he came out and he beat Diaz's ass and won the the BMF belt. And
Of the two of them, John Jones clearly has the stronger leg to stand on when it comes to contract negotiations, but versus Masvidal. But
I read the other day that if all of Masvidal's split decisions would have gone his way, he'd be 40-8.
that's decent.
That's not bad. But
Another guy I'm a fan of, but I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't
shut your
take it
mouth.
to-
John Jones, shut your mouth. Masvidal, shut your mouth. Conor McGregor, shut your mouth.
yeah, the whole Conor thing, I'm over.
Ross Grinnell.
I'll fight any of you for $5 million.
Ooh, you heard it here first.
I'll even let you punch at him.
If this gets 2 views, Russ will
I bought a Mega Millions ticket last night. I haven't checked, by the way.
Well, that's because you got a golf course to rebuild after you win it.
That's true.
Yeah, can we check it right now?
It's in my truck.
We got to do the draft.
Yeah,
We do, yeah.
Oh, let's do the draft before we end this.
Who's gonna go first?
Well,
Oh yeah.
I don't care what pick I have.
So we're gonna do
Snake draft.
we're gonna do snake draft. What do you want to do? 3 or 4 guys?
Let's do 3.
All right, 3 guys.
Ooh.
Choose anybody you want playing this week. Best finisher wins.
How much?
Preferably guys that are playing this week.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's put $10 on it.
don't pick Brant Snedeker because he dropped out.
Did he?
I had.
I just looked at
okay.
DraftKings and set my lineup and he was out, so I assumed he just dropped.
We're doing. What's the order?
I don't care.
All right, I'll tell you what. You can have the first pick.
We'll go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we'll just snake it right around the table.
All right,
What do you want?
Rory.
Okay. Russ.
Justin Thomas.
Okay. I'm gonna take. Ian Poulter.
Cool. I don't have him on my
Wow.
list.
Yeah, I got to add him.
I like Poltz. And then for my next pick, I'm gonna take Victor Hovland.
Ooh, I like that. Victor Holt. I will take Brooks Koepka.
Well, Jordan Spieth.
Ooh. I really hope.
Home state, and I feel like I'm hoping the rest and relaxation
I really hope.
helps.
I hope
help
Speed
reset
has a
him.
good year. I really do.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Last pick, Adam.
And then I'm going to take. Oh God.
How's this for content?
Dude, this is.
We got the whole field list over there.
It was his idea.
I
You
got-
think you'd have a list in order and just,
I'm going to take Patrick.
oh boy.
And I'm writing Patrick.
All right. You can punch him now, not me. Patrick Reed.
Is it bad that when I write Patrick, my phone autocorrects to Patrick?
No.
Okay.
I am going to take Sung J M.
That's what I was debating with. He was hot before the COVID.
Yeah.
But
He had a fever. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Kisner.
He was on my list too. I like that pick.
10 dial hairs.
$10 hairs each, highest position finishing.
Sweet. All right, boys. Good episode. We had a lot to get off our chest there.
we did.
I felt like it was a therapeutic session.
Yeah,
We never know what could come out next episode. The three of us playing together Friday.
Oh boy.
that's true.
Well, you've already challenged me on the golf course, so you're in trouble.
Oh.
I don't have a job, so all I do is play golf. It's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
we're
know we're trying to wrap this up. We got a golf trip this Friday. We go to a course about an hour away. We're playing 36 holes. The morning's a scramble. The afternoon is play your own ball, and then the afternoon.
I think my scramble might beat your guys's. I got a decent team.
I'm not worried about the scramble. I'm looking forward to the afternoon.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude.
So the
I
three of
was
us-
thinking about this. We're teeing off first in the afternoon. We're gonna finish 3 hours before
Yeah,
the
we are.
last group.
Get
It
back
will
on
be.
the road.
It will be.
Well, no, we got to wait for our money.
We might be hammered.
we might
Well,
be.
Russ and I will. You got to drive.
Yeah, you're driving.
That's true.
Dude.
All right, boys. See you guys Friday. And, yeah, don't forget to subscribe. We're also on iTunes
Yes, we are.
and Spotify.
Hit that bell for notifications.
Sorry. Thank you.
Here. Later.